Welcome back to another episode of Brick Bronze. This is episode 3, and boy was it a ride. But I just have to say, a lot of things happened in this episode. And we're also joined by our good friend ETV. He will be joining us during the remaining of this Nuzlocke. And I found out what the rule actually means that we made last episode. Basically, if your team gets wiped and, they all die, you can bring back 4 members of that team. The other 2 are technically a sacrifice for those 4 to come back. We start this journey by going through this route, fighting all the trainers. As last episode, we got our encounter here, and I got a giraffe egg, which I named Tall, but because of the name getting hashtagged, I renamed it Paul. I was doing a strategy of fighting Pokemon and trainers, going back to Pokesunder and healing, so I don't take a risk of dying, until this trainer. I had ease feeding him because I had Giraffe Egg with Psychic-type moves. Let's just say Waffles kind of didn't have a good time with this one, but I'll let him explain in his video. But after defeating this dude with the Butterfree and Beedrill, and this other dude with a Cubone, Meryl and another Cubone, Soup starts to evolve, which is very good for me because something else happens in this episode. But I'll explain that later because now I get my own new encounter, and that's a graveyard encounter. I get Ghastly, which is amazing. If this thing can stay alive until a Haunter, I can trade it to one of my friends, and I get a Gengar. After naming it Jerry the Third, I decided to continue on with my journey. Because after beating this dude with 2 Geodudes and a Hippopotas, we realized that it's time to fight Jake, and I also think that one of my Pokemon are gonna die because I'm not suited for Jake. But nevertheless, I go into the battle with Jake. He sends an Eevee and I send down Paul. I use Charge Beam to try and raise my special attack, but the Eevee has other plans and uses Swift. I decide to screw it and go for another Charge Beam, as the Eevee actually had another plan. It decides to go for a lowering thing and starts lowering my evasion. And this sucks because it used one sand attack, I missed. And it kept piling on sand attacks. So I switch into Soup. Eevee uses Quick Attack, doing a decent amount of damage, but I use Bite, killing it. His next Pokemon is Blitzel, and this thing knows Shockwave, so I have to switch out. Coping gets paralyzed, but I use Headbutt. Next turn, Coping gets paralyzed, which sucks. Because I'm paralyzed, Blitzel uses Shockwave, and sadly, Coping dies once again. So I send in Giraffe Egg to try and kill it. I use Confusion, but this thing won't die and lives on red, and uses Thunder Wave, paralyzing me again. But luckily, next turn, I hit through the paralysis. Lastly is the Nidoran. I use a Paralyze here because I don't like paralysis. It's just so annoying. I use Confusion, hoping that it one-shots, and it does, meaning I've won the battle at the cost of Coping's life. That puts our total kill count at 3 Pokemon. So now, my final words of Coping are, you did good, buddy. You did real good. Ever since that 1 HP clutch, I thought you would go big, but sadly, you just didn't have the chance. On the bright side, we get a new encounter, and my encounter is a Blitzel, the same thing that killed Coping. I name it Mr. Dink Dank, and I continue on. Basically, the Bamber City gym leader told me that I had to go stop Team Eclipse from controlling Groudon or whatever. So I'm forced to go to this volcano, and I realized I get another encounter here. My encounter is the Sizzlipede. I have 1 Pokeball, singular, and which sucks. So I decide, alright, well, I fail either way. So I throw it, and it breaks out. So this is my second failed encounter. The Mareep, and now the Sizzlipede. They're both great Pokemon, but yet I failed them. So I run away and cry like a baby. So now I depressively defeat the rest of the cave. And now it's time for the final boss, the person with the red orb trying to take control of Groudon. It's up to me to defeat him, and if I fail, I fail. I start with Crocalor using Bite against his Honedge, and it does about around half. It uses Sword Stance, which is scary, but I still outspeed. And I guess Waffles wanted to know what it started with, so we exchange info back and forth about what it could possibly have. 1 more bite easily takes it out. His next Pokemon is Volibee. I tell Waffle the information of what his next Pokemon is, and this is perfect because recently my Totodile, or now Crocalor, knows Ice Fang. So 1 more Ice Fang easily takes it out. 1 bite takes his Lunatone down to half, meaning 1 more can easily kill it. Either way, this imbecile summons Groudon. He tries to command Groudon like he is high and mighty. Groudon does not accept that. No, he starts yelling at him, blows his wig off, and they're little cowards, so they just run away. The gym leader that sent me on this mission calms down Groudon and tells me that I should go challenge his gym so that he can see my full strength. After I get out of the cave, I realize my blip bug is level 20 and hasn't evolved. It's shown no sign of evolution. It only knows struggle bug and is level 20. It should have evolved at level 10. So I report this to the Brick Bronze Discord server and see if this is like some sort of bug. And as I'm like editing this, I still have no response, so I don't know what this is. But if I don't get an answer, I'm going to have to replace Blip Bug with my next encounter I get after the gym. But yeah, hope you enjoy this episode. I don't know if this is like a decently length episode, but if you like more episodes this long, let me know. But bye.